streaming online at dailydodge.com, brought to you courtesy of Beaver Piggly Wiggly. It is time now for today's community comment. Here's your host, Craig Warble.
And our guests are with the Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee, which is kicking off this Friday, the 3-day jazz festival in Fox Lake, honoring Bunny Berigan, hometown hero. We've got here with us in the new studios on Bill McCullum Way, WBEV, WXRO, and DailyDodge.com. We've got Julie Fleming, the coordinator of the festival that's kicking off on Friday once again, and two musicians that will be performing. They're with Jack's Jubilee Big Band and Red Hot Dixie, and I understand they're going to treat us to a number here to kick the program off. I want to introduce Rob Moore and Jack Trowbridge. Thanks, guys, for joining us on the program today.
Good, glad to be here.
I hear we're going to hear a bit of a number from you. What are we going to hear?
We're going to do something real quiet. It's called Whispering.
Whispering, right here on AM 1430 WBEV. Take it away, boys. Fantastic. Jack Trowbridge, once again, along with Rob Moore. Thank you so much for that, gentlemen. That was one of the most unique ways I think we've ever kicked off a community comment program here. Julie, you've been on this program dozens, if not hundreds of times over the year. Thank you for bringing these gentlemen with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Gentlemen, scholars and musicians, we do appreciate you shedding your talents here for us. Before we talk a little bit about the millions of bands you guys are in, you guys are here representing a few of the bands that will be on the lineup for the big Jubilee this weekend. We've got Red Hot Dixie, the Gulf Swing Band, Jack's Jubilee Band, a few of the musicians that will be performing this weekend. Julie, frame this story for us, if you will. First of all, what's the name of the event?
Okay, it's the Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee, and to make it a little more explicit, it's actually called a 3-day jazz festival honoring Bunny Berigan.
Okay, you've changed the name. Wasn't it a different name last year?
It was, but I discovered that people needed a little explanation of what was going on, and it's a Dixieland Jazz Festival honoring Bunny Berigan.
Now, who is Bunny Berigan, for those who don't know?
Well, Bunny Berigan is probably known throughout the world yet today as one of the best trumpet players ever. He grew up in Fox Lake, even though he was born in Hilbert, and he knew Louis Armstrong. And after Bunny Berigan passed away at age 33, somebody asked Louis Armstrong about Bunny Berigan, and Louis replied, "The only thing wrong with Bunny is that he died too young."
How old was he?
33.
33, and there's still some mystery surrounding his death.
Well, yeah, they said that he died of cirrhosis of the liver, and yes, he did drink a lot, and so did a lot of the others back in those days. All right, we're talking the early 30s, okay. But we discovered through the historical room in the library that his father, Mr. Schlitzberg, died of cirrhosis of the liver, and Mr. Schlitzberg never drank a drop. So we investigated a little further and found out that you can inherit cirrhosis of the liver. So Bunny probably inherited that trait, and then the more drinking just didn't work.
All right, so we've got a festival to honor Bunny
Right,
for his contributions to the world of music.
right.
You're the coordinator of the festival. How many years has this festival been going on, Julie?
Okay, Fox Lake has been honoring Bunny Berigan for 45 years, and I have been doing this festival for 13.
Wow. And that's uninterrupted? Has there been a year off here or there?
We had 1 year off where we needed a little bit of money to go on, and so we had what we called a rent party on a Sunday afternoon. And that's what they used to do when they didn't have enough money back in the days of the 20s and 30s. They would go to somebody's apartment and they would call it a rent party. And then all the friends would come and they would jam away all night, and people would give them money and they made the rent.
Wow, and you were able to, what's new, right?
Yeah.
You were able to get the festival back up. I think it went down to 1 day for a while, and now we're back for the last few years in a full 3-day festival mode.
Yeah, except for 1 year, the 13 years that I've been doing it, it's been a 3-day festival.
Okay, so what are we going to expect? Now, this starts on Friday.
Right. Friday, the music begins at the American Legion Clubhouse, and there you'll be seeing Bob Scholes and his Frisco Light Band. He's bringing a couple of musicians from California, plus some others from the Midwest here. And then Steve Lilly's St. Louis Stompers will be there also. So that music goes from 7 until about 11 o'clock at night at the American Legion.
Okay, and that's just Friday.
That's just Friday, right?
So what's going on Saturday and Sunday? We'll start with Saturday.
Okay, Saturday, we actually have the music starting at 11, and that music is going to be provided by Jack's Jubilee Band, which I believe is 8 people, Jack, in your band?
Well, it's when we get the other trumpet players and we have 11.
Okay, so it's 8 to 11 people, and a man by the name of Duke Hiker is going to be playing with them. Steve Lilly usually joins in and plays, and so does Bob Scholes. So we have a big band of about 11 musicians on stage, and they lead off on Saturday. And then the music continues all through Saturday with the St. Louis Stompers, with Bob Scholes' group, this Jubilee band, which is just fantastic. And we get to 10:45 at night, and I don't know where the time went.
And that's just Saturday.
That's Saturday. Right.
Saturday, and you split this up into sessions. We can maybe talk more about that in a little bit, but you have
Yep.
2 sessions on Saturday, essentially, 1 on Friday. Then you cap things off. You have 1 formal session, but we're going to talk about a few other things that are going on Sunday as well. What's going on formally as part of the music at the community center?
Okay, so the music on Sunday is actually going to be Matt Miller, and Matt Miller was one of the very first scholarship winners here in Beaver Dam. And it was because of that scholarship that he went to college, and he is now a professional musician down in the Milwaukee area. He has a band down there, and he also teaches music. So he's a wonderful musician. And then we'll have the Stompers. Again, they are here for the weekend, and so is Bob Scholes' group. And we had Kay Berigan, but Kay Berigan had to have some emergency surgery, not totally serious, but they told him he could not play the trumpet for a few weeks. So I called up my good friend Jack Trowbridge over here, because I remembered that the people on Sunday did not get to hear Jack's big band, Jubilee Band, and I said, hey, what do you think? If we have the guys that need to stay overnight in the motel, do you think we could get you back on Sunday too? And he said, I'll work on it, and he did it.
Big shoes to fill there, Jack.
Oh, I know, and they smell too.
So it sounds like this is going to work out perfectly.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
with everything that happened with Kay, but you'll be able to step right in.
And the guys are tickled to do it too, because we have so much fun. And the music is wonderful. It's stuff that he recorded back in the 30s. And some of it is still being played today. You know, people are really not aware of that, how old some of these tunes are. Like Skylark, how about that? That seems like a pretty new tune, huh? No, that's way back in the 30s.
And we'll be hearing some of these throughout the course of the 3-day event. We might
Yes.
also hear a
Oh,
few
yes.
tunes here coming up on community comments. So I hope you got your fingers ready on the bass over there and the clarinet. First, we want to make sure our listeners are aware of what they need to know about getting tickets for this event.
Oh, okay. I do believe that all a person needs to do at this point is arrive at the ticket table. So at the American Legion on Friday night, the ticket table will be open from 5:30 on, and the music starts at 7. And then at 9:30 in the morning, the ticket table will be down at the community center on Saturday. And they can come in and buy the first session. They can buy the second session too if they'd like. But then the second session begins about 6 in the evening, so I would suggest that they come and buy that second session probably about 4:45, because at 5 o'clock, we have a tremendous piano player from St. Louis. He actually is part of the Sedalia, what was the man, I've lost it, but the piano player down at Sedalia?
Sedalia piano player. Anybody?
Joplin.
Joplin,
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Joplin. He's part of that festival down there, and he's doing a 45-minute solo piano piece. And that's open to everybody who comes to the first session and those who come to the second session. So the ticket table will be there at the community center all day Saturday, and it will be there again on Sunday morning, and people can just come in and buy a ticket. You'll want to know the cost, I'm sure.
Well, Julie, what's the cost of the ticket for the Jazz Jubilee?
I'm telling you, it's not bad. It's $35 for a session, and each session gives you about 5 hours of music now, and probably 4 different bands.
Hmm.
So I think it's a pretty good deal.
Now, there's also an opportunity for folks to check out a traditional Dixieland, would we call it a funeral out at the graveside?
Yep, and that's taking place Saturday morning at 10 a.m. out at the St. Mary's Cemetery, which is out there on Breezy Point Road. Bunny is buried there, and probably Reverend Al Townsend, well, not probably, but definitely Reverend Al Townsend will be giving the little talk out there. And I know that Bob Scholes and some of his band members appear out there. Some of the St. Louis Stompers are out there, and it's a tribute to Bunny right near his headstone. So it's a very wonderful, emotional service that is done for Bunny.
And how's the Reverend Al doing, on a side note, by the way? He was our guest here for many years on Community Comment.
He is not playing in a band anymore, but he is a reverend, definitely. And he was the person who led the jazz service down in Madison a couple of weeks ago. And he does a wonderful job, and he'll be back to do it this year.
And so there's going to be also on, is this Sunday, there's going to be a Dixieland church service?
Yes, yes. And for people right here within driving distance of Beaver Dam, oh my goodness, you really need to come to First Lutheran Church on Sunday morning, either at 8 o'clock or 10:30, because the St. Louis Stompers are doing a complete church service, Dixieland church service, and it is fantastic. It is open to the public. You need not be a member of First Lutheran. Just come and enjoy it. And I think the audience will kind of get this, First Lutheran's church service at 8 o'clock in the morning is always here on the radio, all right? And last year, we had people listen to the jazz service on the radio at 8 o'clock, threw on their clothes, and came to church at 10:30 so they could see it in person.
Wow, you guys are getting people to go to church?
Oh, yeah.
No pressure.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we do, We turn over tables in the restaurants and we get people to go to church.
Well, let's get people to go to church right now. What do you say, gentlemen? What are we going to hear for our next number on Community Comment today?
We're gonna do a song for your mother.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
This is named after, my mother has a similar name to
Yes.
this next song.
Margie.
Now, what's the history of the song? Can you give me any insight into it?
It's an old song.
It's an old song here on AM 1430 WBEV's Community Comment with Jack Trowbridge and Rob Moore. Preview of the Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee, which kicks off this Friday in Bunny's hometown of Fox Lake. Take it away, boys. Once again, Jack Trowbridge, Rob Moore, Julie, we got the best seats in the house today. It
I
looks
know we do.
Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee again, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Fox Lake. Our guests here, Julie Fleming, Jack Trowbridge, Rob Moore. We'll take a break and be back in just a few minutes here on Community Comment.
Back to more of today's community comment. Here again is your host, Craig Warmbull.
And our guests are with the Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee, kicking this segment off with another song that you might hear at the festival, which begins this Friday and runs through Sunday in beautiful Fox Lake. Take it away, Rob Moore, Jack Trowbridge. Julie?
It's great.
Man, Jack Trowbridge, Rob Moore, two of the many musicians you'll hear at this weekend's Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee in the hometown of jazz legend Bunny Berigan. And Julie, like I said before, we got the best seats in the house today. You're not going to charge me for this seat, are you?
No, I'm
All
not.
right.
I'm going to even offer you a free ticket if you come.
All right, I'm in. I've been to these before in the past, and they've always been so much fun.
Yeah, they are. They're wonderful. I wanted to just mention a couple other things about Bunny,
Okay.
if I could. I'm not sure that people really understand that he played with Tommy Dorsey, with Paul Whiteman, with Benny Goodman. He was part of Glenn Miller's band. And the wonderful thing about Bunny was he was a sideman, and he did hundreds and hundreds of musical things with other well-known singers and whatever. And he was part of this Glenn Miller band that took off from New York, and they were going across the United States on a tour. And they didn't fly, of course. They had to all get into some old bus of some sort. But everywhere they stopped, the audience was kind of sluggish. All right. So they made it out to California, and again, they were playing this dance, and the dancers were just kind of moving around the floor. There really didn't seem to be a whole lot of life. And at that point, Bunny stood up and he said, "Hey, let's play this song the way we did it when we were practicing." And they took off and played the first swing melody. The audience went crazy. The dancing changed. Everybody just had some life in them. And of course, going back to New York, they had to go back across the country by bus. By the time they got back to New York, swing was the rage.
Wow, and that's before the internet.
Right.
That's long before the internet and everything like that.
Yeah.
Rob, Jack, give us some insight into what Julie was talking about, if you could, as far as the impact that swing music maybe made at that time. Not only at that time, but also that it continued to reverberate throughout the decades, essentially.
Well, actually, the swing music was just going crazy, and like she said, it went all across the country and it reverberated back. And the thing of it is that we've got so much of it that still goes on. When you get some people like the Squirrel Nut Zippers and Brian Setzer and people like that have tried to bring it back, and it was really hot. And we were doing some of that when I was playing at the Fireside, the supper club, you know, and theater. And people just really love it, you know. I mean, it picks you up and it makes you do something, you know what I'm saying? This isn't the kind of music you just sit there and say, oh yeah, that's nice.
Oh yeah, and I gotta tell you, I've got a granddaughter down in UW-Madison. She's gonna be a junior. And this past year, she joined the swing group down in Madison. There's a UW swing group that hold dances, and she has been having a ball.
And so it's you know, gone from generation to generation, and it's something that musicians still tend to pick up on as a source of good energy and good music. To the layperson, this might be kind of a esoteric question, if you will. Can you describe to the layperson what Julie was talking about when she said going from this kind of sleepy music that was kind of putting everybody out? What was it? Feel free to use as many technical terms as you want to, because I know you guys are talented musicians who have been from one end of the country to the other. But what is it from a technical musical perspective that changed? What is it that Bunny Berigan was calling for?
Part of it is because it's the music is a little ahead of the beat, and so it makes you pick up your feet. It makes you fly, and there's something about it when you're playing that kind of thing that your head isn't doing anything. Your fingers are doing stuff that you don't even know what the heck is going on. I sometimes think there's a little man up in my head that's playing this horn and not me. Does that make sense?
You know, it does. In fact, you said that the music is a little ahead of the beat. I recently heard something about funk music from a bass player's perspective, that funk music is a little bit behind the beat. Is that you're a bass player? Is that true?
Really funk. I'm 85.
Not asking you to do any funk. No funk needed on the program today. But that's essentially what Jack's talking about when he's talking about the music kind of being ahead of the beat, right?
I think it went from like 2-beat to 4/4 time. I mean, it started swinging when they, instead of, they went. The 4/4 instead of 2/4, you know.
And that had all the change on music that was basically kind of destined to happen, it seems
Right.
like, Julie.
In fact, there's a number of waltzes with 3/4 that when we do them in Dixie time, it's in 4. And so it picks it up and it just swings at it, living heck out of it. You can't sit still.
Do you remember where you were when you were introduced to this music? Was this your first passion? Was this something you discovered along the way?
I remember I was only about 14 years old and I was taking lessons from my teacher, and he got one of these first play-along books, and it was all Dixie stuff. And so we played the book, and then he took the book away and he says, "Okay, play the song." So then not only did we play the song, and then we started doing the improvisation on the songs. So you take, just like I did in so many of these songs here, I played the first time through, it was pretty straight, and then I tried to noodle around it and do some things that were interesting.
How long have you and Rob been playing together?
Oh, gosh.
25.
Well, it's been since 1990, I think, 92, something like that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You guys have gotten around the country a little bit?
Oh, yeah, we've been all the way to Illinois.
Yeah.
We play pretty much around the state.
Yeah.
However, I played the last 12 years down in Texas, and I did a lot down there. And
Would that be with the Gulf Swing Band?
yeah, that was my golf swing band down there. Yes, indeed. And I played on Sundays with a guy by the name of Mike Williams. We did a brunch from 11 until 3 at a place called Giggitty's. And we played what he called romantic ballads. And he had 600 of them in his head. We never had a piece of paper. And we just played, you know, for 3-4 hours. And he sang and held a guitar, and I played the clarinet. You know, and then we got a bass player, Danny Largo, to come in. But then we also had another band, a big band called the Medicare Band. Most of us qualified. And we did big band music. Oh my, I must have played with those people for 10 years. When I first got down there, I got hooked up with them.
Well, what role has swing music, has Bunny Berigan's music maybe played in your set list over the years? Has it ever snuck in?
Oh, these things are done by just a lot of people, you know, it's kind of strange, you know, I'm doing a gig at Giovanni's in Cambridge, right on Highway 18 there. And I had a lady come up and ask for some Barry White, you know, and I don't know Barry White stuff. So I started looking it up. Well, I've got like 3 or 4 of these things that Barry White does, but then so does 4 or 5 other people, you know. And somebody asked about Otis Redding, and he does Dock of the Bay, you know. I had that, no problem. And there was 2, 3 other ones, but I just had to know what the heck he did. So it's kind of wild, you know, that this gig that I do is a lot of Sinatra kind of stuff, and but it's got blues and it's got country and western both.
And when the swing music hits the set list, do you see a noticeable change in the crowd from the Otis Redding stuff?
I had a gig that I played up in Fond du Lac for a group up there, and it was Valentine's Day. They wanted the love set. I have 2 love sets, nothing but love songs. And about 15 minutes into that gig, I thought, these people are going to sleep. So I pulled out what I call my trad set, which is traditional jazz, Dixieland, whatever. And all of a sudden, these people lit up like a Christmas tree. And it was one of the best gigs I've had in a long time.
And it's like they went to church or something.
It's like they went to church.
Tell us a little bit about what you've got planned for this weekend from a musical perspective. Is it all fly by the seat of your pants? Do you have some things planned going into it? Is it a little bit of both?
I started a plan after we finished last year's, and Julie said we're going to do it again. I took the program that we had from last year, and I found 10 new songs that I thought were pretty cool, and I took out 10 songs from the previous one, and so it's not going to be the same one that people listened to last year. It's going to have a lot of different tunes, but it's got a lot of the chestnuts that everybody likes to hear. I mean, let's face it, I Can't Get Started is the first tune of each one of our programs, because that's his. And we'd have played that today if it would have been a
public domain song. We're making sure the songs that we play, at least that we record, are in the public domain. We can shut the video camera off. We could end things with "Don't Get Started" or "Can't Get Started." Look at me. I've only been doing this for 10 years.
Don't get started.
If you want. No. All right. Well, I know you guys.
I like to have a little more behind me, and
a little more oomph behind me.
and all these songs we're doing today, I was going to sing. So.
Julie, you could sing if you want. Oh, all right.
No,
Very
So
good.
if you hum the chords behind us, we could do that.
All right, I can sit back at the drum kit that we've got in our new studios here on Bill McCullum Way. But you guys have sounded great too, by the way. Let me just say that. So you're going to be finding yourselves with some, I assume, with some musicians maybe you've never played with before this weekend. Is that sometimes the case?
Well, I had to replace the keyboard player for the Sunday gig because he was already booked for another gig. But I haven't played with him, but it doesn't make any difference.
Mm-hmm.
We do that all the time.
Yeah.
I go around and I play with different bands just to be fun, and they're friends of mine. So like the New South Rampart Street Paraders and the Avenue Sizzlers in Madison, and the Monday Morning Jazz Band down in Rockton. Just fantastic swing and Dixieland bands, and I'm using musicians from those bands for the big band.
I do believe, would that be our piano player here by chance, perhaps just showing up? Oh, we're getting him through the back, so maybe we'll
That
hold
is
off
our
on
piano
the second, or the third song.
Someone should go out and tell them to forget to bring in the piano.
Oh, but we got 2 more songs, maybe we can have them, we'll take a break and have them set it up, what do you think?
Okay.
You think we could do that?
We could do that.
Or maybe we'll take, Cale, maybe we take a little bit longer of a
He'd
break.
help us
and-
on the Can't Get Started thing for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
we'll dump out of the video and go for the non-public domain stuff here. Just to explain what, because this is all being archived, I don't want to get into the minutia of this or anything like that, but typically what we're going for, that we're going to save on our archive, is going to be public domain songs for copyright purposes, and I don't want to get into that, but we asked you to play public domain songs, Jack, and you started to do a little research, and your eyes were really open to the number of songs that are out there in the public domain that are also part of your regular rotation, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, I was really surprised. What happened was I called a friend of mine that had worked for ASCAP, and he made some suggestions of what I could do. When I found a site, there was 1,300 public domain songs, and quite a few of those that we ordinarily do.
Yeah, and we got them to do, we got about 5 of them lined up for today. We heard 3 of them, they were already great. If you're just joining us, you'll be able to hear them on our dailydodge.com, our new website. That'll be under the audio tab and under the video tab when all is said and done. In the meantime, the Bonnie Berigan Jazz Jubilee. Julie, why don't you tell everybody when the big event is and what they need to know here as we go into the break.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you that it's this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday night, we're at the American Legion Clubhouse. Saturday and Sunday, we're at the Fox Lake Community Center. There's 2 sessions on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, 1 on Friday night at the Legion. And I like to mention that we do have a chef coming from Milwaukee. He cooks from scratch. And the word is in Wisconsin that the Bonnie Berigan Jazz Jubilee has the best food of any jazz festival.
All right, it's all this weekend in beautiful Fox Lake, the hometown of jazz legend Bonnie Berigan. Our guests will be joining us here after the break, Rob Moore, Jack Trowbridge, and Julie Fleming, along with a special featured guest for the next couple numbers that are coming up here on AM 1430 WBEV, dailydodge.com. WBEV's Community Comment, back in just a minute.
You're gonna hear host Fred Warhol.
Well, thank you very much, and our guests are with the Bonnie Berigan Jazz Jubilee, a 3-day festival that honors hometown jazz legend Bonnie Berigan in Fox Lake. It kicks off this Friday, 3 days of jazz music centered mostly around the Fox Lake Community Center.
Right.
And do you do stuff at the American Legion?
Yeah, Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday night, we're at the American Legion, and I just would like to tell people that is just a wonderful event at the American Legion on Friday night, because you're in an atmosphere where jazz really was played. And if you want to get the real, just get this real feeling of jazz musicians laughing with each other and the audience talking and foot stomping going on, come to the American Legion on Friday night at 7 o'clock.
This is Julie Fleming. She is the coordinator of the Bonnie Berigan Jazz Jubilee. We've got 3 musicians here in our new studios on Bill McCollum Way at the WBEV WXRO Studios, dailydodge.com. Rob Moore, Jack Trowbridge returning on the program here today. And we've got a 3rd musician that is now plugged his equipment in and he's ready and raring to go. Who we got here, Jack?
We've got Bruce Warden, a fantastic keyboard player from Rockford, Illinois.
Try.
Plays Friday and Saturday nights at the Holiday and right there at the Interstate. And he's played with us last year, and he's just awesome.
Bruce, that's quite a lead-in you got there. Thanks for joining us on the program
When you
today.
know somebody, it shows you how things can happen.
Now, Bruce, we've been asking the musicians here today about Bonnie Berigan and what Bonnie's meant to them as a musician. Has Bonnie Berigan been a factor of yours in your musical life?
Yes, I'll have to say it this way. Originally, I started playing accordion at the age of 9, and was 10 years in that making. And in college, I started fooling with the keyboard, laying down. In other words, a piano as such.
Piano.
And I've been with the Jack Freena Band of Beloit, Wisconsin for now 15 years. And that has given me the chance to get myself involved into the big band idea, which is what Buddy was totally a part of. And the tunes that he plays are the tunes that I started playing when I was 15 years old on accordion. So it's pretty funny how music hasn't changed in the right venues.
We've come full circle.
We really have.
We're going to hear another number from this all-star band that we've assembled. We'll call you the Community Comment All-Star Band if you guys don't mind. We sure would appreciate it. You guys are our first community comment musicians here in this new studio, so we want to thank you guys very much for joining us and making this all happen. We're on live right now on AM 1430 WBEV. Bruce, we're also streaming at dailydodge.com, and the video of this will be posted on our website, dailydodge.com, here very shortly.
Gosh, I'm glad I came.
We're glad you're here, Bruce. We're glad you're here.
You gotta call me more often, Jack.
So what's this next song we're going to hear, Jack?
Okay, is this the one where we're gonna do, I Can't Get get started?
Well, no,
No.
maybe we'll cap off with that.
Okay,
Let's do a
well,
couple more.
let's do Avalon, and you give us an intro, man.
All right, here we are, Avalon, the community comment all-star band.
Trigger Rose. Notice at no time do his fingers ever leave his hand.
Wonderful.
That was pretty good, wasn't
That was just fantastic. Bruce Warden, Jack Trowbridge, Rob Moore,
Yes,
here on AM 1430. WBEV. He needs the bass player. The bass players needed the piano player. We've got everybody here together.
So needed.
The community comment trio here, Julie, and they just sound wonderful. And this is just a taste of what the folks here are going to be able to see this weekend at the Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee.
Right, and I just like to mention that we have a trumpeter, his name is Duke Hiker.
He's coming here today?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
All right.
couldn't get him here today, he's from New Orleans, and he'll be our guest artist for the whole weekend.
Now, what does that mean?
The guest artist is the person who's on duty Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday playing with all the bands.
Okay,
And he's a trumpet player,
sure.
and he is the person in the United States that is well known as being the closest to Bunny Berigan of all the trumpet players. So he'll be playing with Jack's big band, he'll be playing with the St. Louis Stompers, he'll be with Bob Scholl's band, and like I say, he's from New Orleans. And 3 years ago, somebody said to me, you know, if you could get that Duke Hiker here, you'd have it made. So I said to my friend, Jack Trowbridge over here, how do you think we get a hold of this Duke Hiker? And so he gets a hold of
I
him.
said, well, I know him because I played with him when I was down in New Orleans. And so I got a hold of him and I told him what we were doing. And I says, you just gotta come, man, that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So he did.
So he was influenced by Bunny Berigan.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
he played Bunny Berigan records all the time, Louis Armstrong records, Red Allen, Bobby Hackett, Vic Spiderbeck, when he was learning, and he's a younger man, he has 2 daughters, and he came last year for the whole weekend, and he's coming back again this year.
He's got his own big band too, which does all kinds of stuff, but he plays a lot.
Yeah, they're called the Steamboat Stompers.
They are? Yeah, that's right, that's
Yes,
right.
and I would love to go and hear them in person in St. Louis.
Oh.
No, New Orleans.
New
New Orleans.
yes.
Yeah.
Which is a big influence on the music that we're talking about too, in addition to Bunny Berrigan.
Well, them and the Dukes of Dixieland that I played with down there.
Yeah. So that this has been a fantastic setup. I understand we've got one more song in the public domain that you guys have got warmed up, and then a special treat to our radio-only listeners and those listening on DailyDodge.com live. You're only going to get it live. We'll close with one of the songs that is copyrighted in the public domain, a Bunny Berrigan song in just a little bit. But first, what's this next song we're going to hear?
Peg in My Heart.
Peg in My Heart. What do we know about this song? Another old song.
It's another old song.
That's right, very good. Here we are with Rob Moore, Jack Trowbridge, Bruce Warden, the Community Common All-Star players here. Take it away, boys. Bruce Warden, Jack Trowbridge, they are all going to be performing this weekend at the Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee in beautiful Fox Lake, a 3-day festival that honors hometown legend Bunny Berigan, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Fox Lake Community Center, Fox Lake American Legion. There's a special Dixieland Jazz church service that's going to be on Sunday, a graveside service on Saturday. Boy, you really pack a lot into 3 days, Julie.
We do. And if you want to look at the website, it's www.bunnyberiganjazzjubilee.com.
Now, there's a slight change in the format for this year in terms of the lineup. We're not going to have the concert at Mullins Drive-In this year.
No, we can't have that concert because back in March, there was a car that crashed into the corner of the root beer stand. And at the very end of February, Moose Mullen passed away. So those two changes have made it too difficult to have it at the root beer stand.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
then,
kind of a change in the way things have traditionally been,
Yep.
but everything else is operating on all 8 cylinders.
yeah, and with that chef coming and having homemade food in the Legion, as well as the community center all weekend, I think we're looking at a wonderful weekend.
Are there other vendors or educational opportunities that are part of the Fox Lake Festival?
Well, there's a lady coming from New York who makes her own jewelry, and her dad was Morty Stoolmaker, and he played in Bunny Berigan's band.
Oh, wow.
And she comes and she has all of her own creations there. They're absolutely beautiful. I've seen a lot of ladies buy a piece of hers. It's not all jazz music, jewelry, it's other things, and she just does a gorgeous job, okay? And then there's a t-shirt table, and if you want a remembrance from the Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee, we have t-shirts of all sizes, and they've got a beautiful front on them, and it even's got the musical notes of I Can't Get Started.
All right, remind our listeners and our viewers how they can get tickets.
Okay, your best way to get a ticket at this point, because this is Tuesday, is to just show up at a ticket table. There's plenty of room for everybody. Don't think that we've oversold, because I do not believe that we have. Good seats are available. Nothing is reserved seating, so come to the ticket table starting at 5:30 at the American Legion on Friday night. The ticket table will be open at 9:30 in the morning on Saturday and remain open until the last note is played. And on Sunday, the music starts at 12 noon, so the ticket table will be open by 10:30 in the morning.
And remind our listeners all of the bands and musicians that they'll be able to see over the course of the 3-day event, Julie.
Right, well, you're gonna be able to see all of the St. Louis Stompers coming from St. Louis, and you're going to be able to hear their piano player in a 45-minute segment that he does all by himself, okay? Wonderful player. And then you've got the Bob Scholes coming with a couple of gentlemen from California, along with some of our Midwest musicians. And he calls it his Bob Scholes Frisco Band Light, okay? We've got Jack Trowbridge here, and he will have 8 others with him.
As many as 11, it sounds like.
11
Julie.
when they all join in and play with this big band.
You guys all squeeze into one bus for that? Is that, is
Oh, yeah.
that the traveling arrangements?
Yep, and then we've got Matt Miller, one of Beaver Dam's first scholarship winners, bringing his band from Milwaukee, so.
Fantastic. And the website again?
BunnyBeriganJazzJubilee.com.
All right, this is the part where we go around and give everybody a chance to kind of give their final thoughts about why folks should make it a point to check out the Bunny Berigan Jazz Jubilee. Should we start with our newest guest here on the program? Bruce, you want to defer to somebody else?
No, this is fine.
All right.
My thinking is, music is wonderful, it is for the soul, it is for the heart, it is for everything. So therefore, keep it up, don't let it stop.
I'm not that articulate, but I just love the music, I love to play it. I love the camaraderie among the musicians that I meet there, and I also love the food, and I love Julie.
That's good.
We all love Julie. This is a good opportunity for you to come and just, you're not gonna be able to control your feet or your person, because once you start on Friday and if you go through the whole weekend, you're gonna be really tired because it's gonna be so much fun and your body just will not quit.
Julie, wrap it all up for us.
Well, I would just say to people, whether you're coming to the Bunny Berigan event or not, try to get out there and see live music. There is nothing like live music, and according to studies that have been done, if you can get a chance to see live music once a week or once every 2 weeks, you're probably going to even live a little longer.
Well, I may live forever then, as a lover of live music.
There
You
you
guys
go.
will live past
I have
infinity.
testimony for that.
We've been pushing the envelope.
Well, this is the part of the program where we normally wind things down, and we would say that's going to do it for today's community comment. And for the most part, for those listening to this in the archive, this will do it for the program. But for our listeners on AM 1430 WBEV and DailyDodge.com, we've got a special live song that we're going to bring to you. And this is the big one, isn't it, Jack? Tell us what we're going to hear.
Well, I don't know what was.
If I may,
I can't get started.
Oh, yeah, the big one.
the big
The big
one.
one.
That's what you want.
Place this in context. Julie, Jack, guys, what do we need to know about this song?
This is Bunny's big tune.
Yeah.
I Can't Get Started, and this is the one that put him on the charts and amongst others, but this is the one that everyone remembers. And we start each set with I Can't Get Started.
Julie?
Right, yep. And Bunny would play it at every performance